Hello, my name is Leslie Ann Lesko, and I am the LIHEAP Program Manager at the Illinois Office of Community Assistance. Today, my colleague David Wortman and I will share a LIHEAP data case study on using LIHEAP and census data for geographic analysis. In Illinois, LIHEAP is administered using a network of 35 subgrantee agencies that conduct outreach and intake across the state, as shown in this map. In the program year 2022, Illinois received approximately $284 million in combined federal and state LIHEAP funding. Approximately 265,000 households were served by LIHEAP, and 22% of the income-eligible households were served by the program. To better understand LIHEAP performance in Illinois, our office had the opportunity to explore our LIHEAP data with other publicly available data. My colleague David will share one example that has helped our program to better target and serve eligible low-income households.
Thank you, Leslie Ann. The example I'm going to share came about based on a few different priorities that our team wanted to explore. First, we wanted to see if we could develop useful data metrics that could help us and our subgrantees measure specific LIHEAP outcomes. Second, we wanted to know if we could examine LIHEAP outcomes for small geographic areas like zip codes. And finally, we wanted to explore how to make information on LIHEAP more useful and more accessible for stakeholders, advocates, and the public. The first step we started with was to look at the LIHEAP program data we already collected and used for delivering services and reporting. For every household that receives a LIHEAP benefit, our data systems collect detailed information on their location, the number of people in the household, income, things like this. This meant we already had data we needed to look at where we assisted households and where persons were located. Using this program data, our initial analysis started by counting or adding up the total number of people that were assisted by LIHEAP in each zip code in the state. For example, in zip code 60444, 130 people were served with LIHEAP assistance during program year 2022. The second step was to see if data were available on the population that was income eligible for LIHEAP by zip code. This was important since there are persons eligible for LIHEAP based on their income who do not receive LIHEAP for various reasons. I visited the Census Bureau website and explored the available data on persons by income level. I found that Census published zip code level data from their American Community Survey on persons by poverty level. This data is free and can be found by searching for subject table S1701. Using the most recent available census data, we could identify how many persons in each zip code were eligible for LIHEAP based on our state's eligibility requirement of being at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. The third step we took was to combine our data with the census data and estimate the portion of income eligible persons served by LIHEAP for each zip code. Here is an example, again using zip code 60444. According to the census data, 506 people are income eligible for LIHEAP residing in that zip code. Since 130 people in that zip code were served with LIHEAP in 2022, that means that 26% of the income eligible population in that area was served by the program. The fourth step was to take the final data and display the data visually. Since the information focused on zip code results, we decided to develop maps. Here's one example. This map was made using Microsoft Excel's mapping feature. This map shows the percent of income eligible population served by zip code, with red indicating a lower portion served and green indicating more than 50% served. Both our office and the subgrantees are now using this and other maps to help identify areas for additional LIHEAP outreach. In summary, Illinois used our LIHEAP program data and publicly available census data to examine the percentage of income eligible persons served by zip code. This data has helped us to do the following: better assess LIHEAP outcomes at a granular local level, provide our subgrantees with information they can use for program targeting and improvement, and it has informed our state-level marketing efforts and subgrantee training. We are now in the process of sharing this information with stakeholders and developing additional metrics to help with LIHEAP performance management. We hope that this brief case study has been helpful, and I encourage you to review the instructions document linked below in the comments section so that you can replicate the same analysis for your state or area. If you would like more information, you can also review the resources listed here. Thank you.